Okay, and a slight change of plan this morning. I'm talking with John Wilson. That's not the change of plan. We were due to talk about other things, but some sinister stuff has been bubbling under the surface that's been on the radar or my radar for the last few days, and it seems to be converging in on a point. What are you talking about, Rick? Well, I'm talking about potential terrorist attacks that will be or potentially could be carried out on the island of Ireland at this time. Not maybe, but potentially imminent. Okay, certainly highly likely to happen. And to discuss that with me this morning, I'm joined by none other than John Wilson, ex-Garda. So he knows a thing or two about this. Based in Cavan at the minute. Welcome back, John. How you doing?
I'm very well, Rick. It's very dark here in County Cavan this morning, which reflects the mood of many of our people.
Yeah, same up here. Very overcast. In fact, it's that horrible milky white sky. There's no clouds. There's no sunlight. It's just like this blanket of grayness that's hanging in the air with a slight drizzle coming down. We're both wearing black as well. So apologies to viewers. They're probably already depressed, John.
Well, I think God is sending us a clear message. He's not happy with what's happening in Western Europe and in Ireland. I know that might sound bizarre to a lot of people watching this, but unfortunately, there's going to be a heavy price to pay for the treachery that our government are perpetrating on the Irish people.
I believe it.
We are operating a conveyor belt here for jihadis.
Well, in case you think maybe you're ready, you're thinking, oh, this is just fear-mongering, scaremongering. It's not. I've got some evidence that I want to present to you guys this morning, you people that are listening this morning, and also to John, because he's not aware exactly of what I'm about to bring up here. But this is a news report that came out, was published today. Okay, so this was published today. I want to look at it, and I've also have related material to do with this that has bubbled up in the last few days, but has kind of went under the radar a little bit. So the headline is Asylum Seeker with terror convictions, is held in custody in Ireland at the minute as Gardaí fear he poses a risk to public safety. A man allegedly threatened to carry out a mass shooting in Dublin and previously threatened to use biological weapons. A court has heard the man gave a fake name, surprise, surprise, and allegedly he has psychosis. So let's just stop right there. This is a man that's being held as we speak. Garda have serious concerns that he poses a risk to public safety. And the question is not around name him, shame him, get rid of him. As we'll see as we go through this, John, he cannot be named because he's an asylum seeker. And asylum seekers have special rights and privileges in Ireland. And we can't just deport him because he's in the middle of an asylum claim. Yet he has, from his own mouth, threatened to carry out a mass terror attack in Dublin. He's named it in Dublin, and potentially to use biological weapons. If that's not enough to get you deported these days, John, what is?
First of all, if he traveled to this country through other safe countries to claim asylum, he's not an asylum seeker. He's a criminal, illegal alien. That's what he is. He was already in the UK, and he was convicted in the UK already. That's my understanding. First of all, he's not an asylum seeker. He is a bogus asylum seeker. He is a criminal, illegal alien, and he should be thrown out of this country forthwith, with the other tens of thousands of illegal criminal aliens that have invaded our country over the last few years. End of story. That's a lie. He's not an asylum seeker. He is a criminal, illegal alien. End of story.
Yeah.
End of discussion. And they won't name him now because it may affect his asylum application. This man came to Ireland from the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. And yes, Northern Ireland is still in the United Kingdom, whether we like to accept that or not. This man should be deported back to the third world shithole from whence he came right away, right? This is utter and complete crap, garbage, bullshit. This man is obviously, the very fact he broke into our country makes him a criminal. He's a criminal, illegal, alien invader. That's what he is. And the fact they won't name him now because they might upset the poor sensitive chap.
Yep.
We are losing our country in real time. We are losing our country in real time. Our government is literally virtue signaling the Irish race out of existence. And here we have this latest story about a threat that's been posed to theIrish people. It's only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time before one of these psychotic, demonic scumbags launch a jihadi attack in Ireland, in this country. They don't give a damn about diversity. You had Catherine Connolly the other night saying, in Ireland, diversity is cherished. She was quoting directly from the little book of bollocks. These people do not do diversity. This ideology is about domination. It's not about integration. It's not about diversity. When this toxic ideology that's posing as a religion becomes the majority of the population, it'll be their way or no way. 50% plus one, and that's the end of diversity and all these other bollocks buzzwords.
John, this guy already has, this is the rub in all of this. In fact, there's several rubs in this. The first rub in all of this is he has already been convicted and deported from the UK. He's already been kicked out of the UK, but now he finds himself in Dublin making threats that he's going to carry out. This is his own words, by the way. These are not my words. This is his words. He threatened, allegedly, to carry out a mass attack in Dublin. He has done it and previously threatened to use biological weapons. Words from his own mouth. And then, of course, we have the psychosis card being played here to try and, he's just a little bit unhinged. Well, he's that unhinged that he's been convicted and kicked out of Britain already. The second thing is, actually, there's three things. The second thing is a scheme has been upgraded, not announced, but upgraded over the last week, where Pascal O'Donoghue has been in cahoots with Jim O'Callaghan to up the incentive for asylum seekers to quit their application and leave Ireland. It's now up to €10,000 per family, up from €2,500. So it's a fivefold increase to just say, you know what, forget the asylum claim, we're out of here, give me the money. And they can get travel assistance costs as well. It's €2,400, €2,500 for an individual, up from €1,200. Technically speaking, John, this guy in the Garda station could turn around and say, you know what, forget Ireland, I'll leave, and put his hand out, John, and say, give me my €2,500 and I'll go.
The Irish government are incentivizing people from Africa, India, and the rest of Asia, and the greater Middle East to invade Ireland. They are financially incentivizing these people to invade Ireland. Now they're offering them €10,000 to return to the third world shithole that they originally came from, which they will not do, by the way. If somebody breaks into your house, you would want them arrested and prosecuted and sent to prison. When somebody breaks into our country, they are giving a real kid meal of fáilte by our traitorous government. And now they're incentivizing these people to leave after giving them tens of thousands of euro over the last couple of years. They've given them. I don't
know if you know this or not. I can tell your blood pressure is pretty high this morning, so I want to apologize for stoking the flames within your belly. Or maybe I've nothing really to apologize for. This is just factual information. But you see those €10,000 per family maximum payments to leave Ireland? There's no stipulation that they can't return again at any time. A deportation means that you cannot return with your family. But if you take a voluntary payment to leave of your own accord, you can technically come back again, literally in a circle. You could be doing this as a circle. It's ludicrous beyond belief. But that's the second rub with this guy. Okay,
Treason.
here's treachery. I don't know how else you would describe it. But the third point that I want to make about this guy, who we can't name because his name hasn't been given out, because we have to protect him, even though he's threatened to carry out a mass event in Dublin. We'll have to protect him because, remember, he's an asylum seeker. He cannot be named. Last week, an Irishman by the name of Paul Nolan appeared in court and was sentenced to a total of 10 months in prison.
Yeah.
For going to an asylum centre. I believe it was somewhere in Tallaght in Dublin. Forgive me if I don't have the exact location, but he interviewed people, posted it on the internet, and was told that people are protected. Their anonymity should be, sacred. You can't go around doing things like that because we have to protect asylum seekers. Now, without going into the ins and outs of this, the guy from Dublin could be named. His address was given.
Of course, yeah,
right?
Of course.
He was sentenced to 10 months in prison. I believe he's out on bail at the minute.
Pending an appeal.
Okay. But this guy, unknown, is protected, I would say, more than that Dublin resident, more than John Wilson from County Cavan when it comes to doxing your name, your address, your profession, where you lived, where you worked, everything else. You don't get that level of anonymity if you do anything wrong.
We were meant to talk about the three mediocre empty vessels that are vying to become Ireland's #1 citizen. This is just another example of the gross incompetence of our politicians. And nobody will come out and criticize this because they've all been indoctrinated with the woke mind virus, and they believe that anybody who speaks out against the illegal invasion of our country is a racist and a far right racist and xenophobes and whatever other adjective you want to think about. Our country, our government are literally betraying the people of Ireland on an hourly and on a daily basis. They are trying to think of other ways that they can put non-Irish people first. Within 100 years, and I know I was criticised by several people for saying this, but within 100 years, Ireland will be an Islamic state. That's where we're heading. If you look at everything, if you look at our falling birth rates, if you look at where the vast majority of these people are coming from into Ireland, both legally and illegally, we are on a downward death spiral.
Well, we're certainly on a path, John, and you can't argue, even if you disagree with our viewpoints, your viewpoint, my viewpoint. Statistics and numbers don't lie. They don't lie. If I'm borrowing £500 a month on a credit card and I can't repay it back, next month, you don't have to be a genius to figure out that I'll be £500 this month plus £500 next month in debt. So you could say with a reasonable degree of certainty, Rick, if you carry on along this path, next month you're going to be 1,000 in debt. And by Christmas, you're going to be about 2,500 in debt. If you continue this until next year, next Christmas, and nothing's done, Rick, you're going to be around about 8,000 to 10,000 in debt. Now, I could turn around and say, oh, John, you're just fear-mongering. You're just scaremongering. No, I'm going by the trajectory that you're on at the minute financially, the level of debt that you're getting yourself into on a monthly basis, and you simply apply mathematics and you project that forward by 12 months and you find yourself, well, John, or you could say to me, Rick, this time next year, if you keep going on the path you're doing, borrowing €500 or £500 a month to top up your living, unless anything changes, unless there's an intervention or you get a better job or you cut down your expenditure, if you keep going where you're going, by next Christmas, you're going to be busted. You're going to be bankrupt. It's as simple as that. Now, I could puff and blow about that all I like, but you can't argue with the figures.
The barbarians are no longer at the gate. Our government have opened up the gate and allowed the barbarians to roam free among us. And don't be surprised when barbarians do what barbarians do. These people are from most of these people have come directly to Ireland from the third world. Okay? And they will not integrate, they will not change their ways. All right. Unfortunately, Islamic ideology has no place in a Western democracy. It will never be. Islamic ideology will never be conducive to Western thinking. And what we're doing is we are facilitating the destruction of our own country. And I'm speaking for a high percentage of Irish people are just sitting back and they're doing nothing. Okay, I mean, you're aware, I'm aware, Philip Dwyer's aware, and so are many other people. But unfortunately, there's a very high percentage of Irish people that are just sitting back and watching the Irish race being destroyed. They're just sitting back and watching our great country being destroyed. We are only, as I keep saying, and I've said on many occasions, Irish people are merely 0.06% of the population of the world. We are going to be a minority in our own country within a very few years. Nobody's talking about Nigel Farage and the plans that he is making for the UK when he gets into power, when he becomes Prime Minister. And as we speak here today, a week is a long time in politics and a lot can change in the next few years, okay? As we speak today, Nigel Farage will be the next British Prime Minister. And both our media and our traitorous government are totally ignoring the plans that he has put forward, the plans that both himself and Reform are going to enact when he becomes Prime Minister. Right? There are over 800,000 people in the UK that have applied for permanent residence in the UK, already applied for permanent residence. He said last week that he is not going to grant them permanent residence. And if they do get permanent residence now, he's going to take it off them and he's going to deport them. Now, he's also going to take the UK out of the European Court of Human Rights. He's also going to leave the UNHCR, right? So he can't be stopped implementing the plans that he's making. There's a strong possibility that if he gets into power, that Irish people will be a minority in this country in 5 years' time. I'm not exaggerating. That's actually a fact. The fear of threats that exist in this country, the fear of terrorist threats that exist in this country and in the UK. People should remember we've already had at least 2 jihadi attacks in this country. The most recent one was the attack on the guards in Capel Street. I suspect there may have been other jihadi attacks thwarted, but the media, the guards have kept it quiet and they haven't told the public. But this is all about anybody who complains about what's going on in this country, who objects to the invasion of our country, is automatically labelled as a racist and a xenophobe, and all discussion is shut down. Successive Irish governments, they have refused to debate this issue. Immigration is the biggest issue, is the single biggest issue as far as I'm concerned in this country today, and our government will not debate it. We had that Patrick Keelty individual talking about, he was so concerned about Jimmy Kimmel being cancelled for 3 days or whatever, for a week or whatever he was cancelled for. Oh, and he spoke with free speech and everybody is welcome in Ireland and you're free to say whatever you want to say in Ireland. Absolute horseshit.
It is. They wouldn't have you on. They wouldn't have you on, John. They wouldn't have you on.
Free speech is on its knees in this country. And another thing, I know we're on to talk about a different issue than we propose to talk about. There's a protest in Dublin next Saturday, organised by Malachy Steenson and a few other people. Okay, it's a protest to encourage people to actively encourage people to spoil their votes in the upcoming farcical Irish presidential election. And I can give you a guarantee, from next weekend, the mainstream media will be saying, oh, they'll be chirping this line that the far right are organising this campaign for you to spoil your vote. The far right, the far right, the far right. Our media, or our activist media, will not talk about the invasion of our country by these criminal illegal aliens. They will not talk about it. And our government are spending at least €450,000 per modular home to house these criminal illegal aliens, because all of these people travel through safe countries to get to Treasure Ireland. They all deliberately earmark this country because that treacherous individual, Roderick O'Gorman, and his government department, they advertised Ireland as a destination of choice for these individuals in at least 8 different languages.
It did. Can I interject just for a second here as well, because this whole topic, for the purposes of this discussion today and everything you said, double salute, double thumbs up. You're mentioning, or you're talking, there's legal immigration into Ireland, there's illegal immigration into Ireland, and whether you like it or not, a lot of people are coming in legally, okay, yes, doing what they're doing. But we're looking at, in this guy's case, just in this guy's case, and another couple of cases that I want to bring up to you as well. This guy is just one example of someone, and I mean, the prefix illegal should tell you that's where the conversation should end. There should not be any justification over after you use the word illegal. If I prefix you with the word illegal, well, you've already broken the law. I don't need to hear even what you've done. This is John Wilson, an illegal blank. That infers to me that you're criminality already. And there are people that are in Ireland and Britain and Europe illegally. Set aside the legal aspect of things, because that's another can of worms to open up for many people. So everyone should be allowed. If you come in, they go, oh, no, we don't have this. So we're looking at this guy in terms of an illegal entrant. Okay, he's brought in from whence he came from, because we aren't told, he's being incentivized that if he stays here, we're going to look after him. He's already being put up in a Garda station. He's already been supported while he's been here, while he's been making threats to carry out a mass attack in Dublin. He's getting his medication when he's in the Garda station. He's getting his interpreter. He's getting free legal advice. And if he wants to, John, he can abort his asylum claim and take 2,500 if he's on his own, up to 10K if he's with his family, and go back from whence he came to return at another time. These are all factually correct statements. Now, you mentioned a march that's due to happen this coming Saturday in Dublin. Now, where all this conversation came from is, and I spoke to Philip Dwyer yesterday, but we talked about the presidential election, but I contacted him yesterday because of a video that I saw that he posted on his feed, and I'm going to play it now. It's only a minute long. Okay. And this was taken last Saturday in Dublin when he was attending and live streaming the March for Jesus event in Dublin. Now, just before I play it, to give listeners some context, okay, and I'm gonna bring this video up now, but just before I play it, I want to give a little bit of context to this one. So, Philip was walking through Dublin city centre with the March for Jesus, a Christian march. And as he did, he saw 3 men, and you'll see the 3 men in the video. They're members of Garda Síochána, but he didn't know that at the time, okay, because they weren't wearing any identification. They were just standing there. And he noticed that one of them had their jacket open, and he could see a gun, highly visible, sidearm on this man's belt. Now, Philip initially thought, what the hell is this? There was no markings. For all he knew, this could have been someone there that was going to carry out an attack. Remember, he doesn't know who this is. He has no context. So he ends up speaking with these people, probably to ascertain whether or not this is an actual threat to his life, or is it undercover Garda. It turns out it was undercover Garda. But the question is, there were several, and I'm sure they weren't the only 3. I'm hypothesizing here, but I'm pretty sure they weren't the only 3 undercover Gardas standing with firearms in that March for Jesus event. And as he rightly questions, what are you worried about? Are you concerned that Christians are going to go crazy here today and you're going to have to open fire? Is that what you're worried about? Now, they obviously didn't reply to that. But on the back of this story that's broken this morning, that a man wanted to carry out a mass terrorist attack in Dublin, and he named it in Dublin. Maybe this is something that they were already briefed on. They were already trying to take some preemptive steps towards, and this is an ongoing threat, given that there's another march this week and another one in Cork, I believe, the week after that. Now, I'm talking a lot here. I'm worked up.
You're fine. No, it's...
I'm worked up, but I want to get this across. I want to get this message across. You will not hear this broadcast in the mainstream media. They will do whatever they can to bury this. I'm not trying to bring this to light for sensationalism. I'm not trying to bring it to light for clicks. People's lives could be at risk here. And I'm speaking from someone who spent their entire life from birth in 1973 up until the end of the so-called Troubles, hearing about, witnessing, and being caught up in bombings, shootings, and loss of life. Many of those events happened without adequate warning. They happened at any time, anywhere.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is this: I don't know what's going to happen, but for sure, threats have been made. They've even named a location, Dublin. I want to carry out an attack in Dublin. And I'm going to come to this after this video, but on the government's own website, MI5 for UK and Northern Ireland Direct website have escalated the threat for international terrorist attack to severe.
Yeah.
Today it's elevated to severe, which means it's almost nailed down that it's going to happen. The only thing is it will not be imminent, i.e. today or tomorrow, but it could happen in 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, or a week. So I'm just trying to get this out. The people need to know. And listen, if your cards are marked, your cards are marked, but just be aware. Keep your wits about you. Don't be paranoid, but keep situational awareness. And if something feels wrong and something doesn't look right, don't take any chances with your life, because the government don't give a shit.
You can't placate Islamists. You can't. You cannot deal with these people rationally. You just can't. They believe that by committing these horrendous acts that they're going to go to heaven. Okay, these people, you cannot. I mean, Islam has no place in a modern Western country. You cannot allow these people to get a foothold in our country, because it's only going to end. It's only going to end one way.
Well, let's hear what Philip has to say. You know, and take this however you like, listener. It's just
infuriating.
It's infuriating, but this video, brutally honestly, my purpose for making it this morning is to highlight this factually, what's happening factually, not hypothetically. Factually, what's going on the ground at the minute, and to say, keep your wits about you, keep on point, don't be distracted, and just be aware of your surroundings and go by your gut. Sometimes, John, I don't know about you, I have been in places that would on paper be highly dangerous, but I felt a complete peace within my spirit.
Yes.
I have been in other places in various parts of the world and here where I've looked around and there's nothing but peace and tranquility, but they're not in my stomach. And the urge to flee has been overwhelming. And I don't care what anybody thinks. I get the hell out of there. Follow your gut. But anyway, that's just me talking. You can take that or leave it. This is Philip Dwyer, and I'll put a link through to his stream underneath the description box in this video. This is a clip that he recorded in Dublin last Saturday when he happened upon these undercover guards at the March for Jesus event in Dublin city centre.
Citizen journalists, just want to post this quick video here of a little interaction I had with a group of armed detectives on Dawson Street on Saturday the 27th of September during a March for Jesus parade. Huh? Everything all right, guards? Everything all good?
Yeah, you need firearms out here for Jesus. You need firearms for Jesus. Keeping it safe, are you? I hope you do your job. Brilliant. That's what's the problem. You're not doing your jobs. That's our problem. But I hope you do. I'll say a prayer for you. Say a prayer for you.
Now, what's interesting about that little interaction, folks, is I hardly think that the armed detectives were hanging around there just to keep an eye on dissident Christians who disagree with the government, or dissident citizen journalists, for that matter. What I do suspect is because they were concerned for a possible terrorist attack on that march, possibly a jihadi attack, or was there even a threat from some source or other to say there may be a jihadi attack on that march for Jesus on Saturday?
Now, let's pause here. This was recorded by Philip Dwyer last Saturday, right? He didn't know what was going to happen this week. He didn't know about the story that was going to break this morning. He was, again, spotted these men with their guns on display, and then he went over and he had a conversation with them. And he said, what were they wary of? Were they thinking something might happen? And then today, that headline breaks. Asylum seeker with terror convictions held in custody. Gardaí fear he poses a risk to public safety. Man allegedly threatened to carry out a mass attack in Dublin. What did Philip just say? Why are you standing there, armed detectives? Are you worried about the Christians? Are you worried about the March for Jesus? Do you suspect something else? This guy gets arrested, and I'm going to go into the details in this one. I'm just trying to give information, because people say, oh, you're just trying to make stuff up. And no, this is, you follow the timeline. That video you just saw was recorded before this story broke this morning, and it's to do with a mass attack in Dublin. Right now,
Yeah.
Sorry, John, just one last thing, and I want to just show this as evidence. I'm submitting this as evidence. Now, this is taken from the NI, Northern Ireland government website. Okay, so people say, oh, that's Northern Ireland, but listen, just look at what it says. Currently, and if you go onto the MI5 website in Britain, yes, they have their own website, mi5.gov or whatever it happens to be. It talks about threat levels from terrorism in the UK, and in this case, in Northern Ireland. Okay, threat level from Northern Ireland related terrorism is substantial. So a threat from within, from any of the paramilitary organizations, is substantial, meaning there could be an attack. An attack could be likely.
Yep.
But the level in Northern Ireland for international terrorism is ranked a step higher. It's classed as severe, which means that an attack is highly likely, but not imminent. And at the time of writing, that imminent means it's literally about to happen anytime today, maybe tomorrow. They're not saying it's going to happen today or tomorrow, but they're saying that it's highly likely. It's almost nailed down that it's going to happen. The only question mark, John, the question mark is when. The question mark is when. And I believe that's what Philip was alluding to when he made that video. He was scratching his head and thinking, do they know something? Have they been tipped off something that we don't know to do with Dublin city centre? And then bang, today we have this guy here who's being held in custody, and they're trying to release him on bail, by the way. They're trying to get him out on bail. His lawyers and the judge thinks, this may not be right, holding this man. I'm just saying he's already made a threat to carry out a mass event in Dublin, and there's another march coming up this Saturday.
Well, if the threat is severe in Northern Ireland, it's severe in the rest of Ireland as well. And the reason that we have not been subjected to a so-called jihadi attack up until now, thanks be to God Almighty, is the fact that we in Ireland are viewed by the Islamists as being useful idiots. And Ireland is seen as a country that they can come and go at will. And there are thousands of jihadi extremists in Ireland. And how many jihadis have traveled from Ireland to the Middle East over the last 10 years or so to fight in Syria and other Middle Eastern countries? We have been viewed up to date as useful idiots. And the fact that the Clonskeagh Mosque has now been closed down, has been closed down for the last 6 months, would indicate to me that our usefulness is coming to an end. These people that we are allowing to invade our country have no respect for this country. They have no respect for Ireland. They see Ireland as just being a means to an end. And that end is the Islamization of the entire continent of Europe. That's a fact, whether people want to accept that or don't want to accept it. We're also forgetting about the UN resettlement program. There are hundreds and thousands of people being shipped into Ireland on a yearly basis. And there's not actual, I mean, even on our side of the fence, there's no discussion about that, about the UN resettlement program. We are literally losing our country in real time. And I know people have heard me saying that ad nauseum many, many times, but it's a fact. We are losing our country in real time. And I mean, unless we wake up and wake up very, very soon. Now I'm talking about the vast majority of people in this country wake up very, very soon. The future is not going to be very, very bright for us.
No.
And in relation, and all it takes, the Clonskeagh Mosque was closed down. It was closed down because it had been taken over by radical Islam, radical Islamic preachers.
Allegedly.
And our mainstream media have put it down to a few little financial irregularities. You don't close down one of the leading mosques in all of Europe for 6 months just because of a few little financial irregularities. The extremists, in my opinion, humble as it may be, are in the majority in Ireland. Islam is not just another religion. It is not just another religion. And the sooner the Irish public and the Irish people that have been cowed down into believing that, diversity is our strength, come to realize this, we are doomed as a country, and we will be doomed. Our race, the Irish race, will also be doomed. Islam is not just another religion. It's an ideology posing as a religion.
One thing I'll say about you, if nothing else, you're consistent. Nothing else. The first
it's a political ideology. It's a political ideology posing as a religion. It's about dominance. And I'm not saying that there are not. I have no doubt there are many hundreds of millions that live better lives than I do. But that doesn't change the fact that Islam is not just another religion. It is a political ideology that is posing as a religion. It's a political ideology that posing as a religion.
Well, this guy in question, and you'll see it at the end of the published article. Okay, he's doing it on behalf of Islamic attack. That's his own words. This is this guy's own words, not John Wilson's words, not my words, but his own words. And in terms of whenever I say you're consistent, if nothing else, you come out with these. I wouldn't call them catchphrases, but these sayings of yours, and you repeat them every time. But you're not wrong. I've yet to see you go, well, John, you called that one wrong, especially in terms of, the destruction of Ireland in real time. You're witnessing it in real time. And I'm sorry to say, but since I first met you, which wasn't that long ago, which was May of this year, May 2025, June, July, August, September, 5 months. I've only known you for 5 months. It feels like 5 years, if I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I've only known you for 5 months. But in those 5 months, John, I'm sorry to say, Ireland has got worse. It hasn't got better over the last since we met. Ireland's got worse, and you've been constantly saying we're witnessing the destruction in real time. So if you were wrong in that statement, then I could be saying, well, John, you called that one wrong, because since we saw each other in May, actually, it's got a lot better. Things have got a lot better. The democratic process has been strengthened. The borders have been tightened. Children's health care has improved. Corruption has dropped. Government spending on squandering on nonsense has improved. John, you've called it wrong, but you haven't called it wrong. Okay, so I want to get back to this story very, very briefly here. And then I want to wrap, because I'm throwing this out there for information. People can Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Is John insane? Is he on the ball? Am I waffling about stuff, about watching your back, keeping your eyes open? Am I sowing paranoia into people's minds? Tell me if you think I am underneath, and explain why. Please leave it in the comment section below. All comments are welcome. This is an open forum. People can say whatever they want. So the story, the details behind this, and I'm just going to blast through this because we've covered most of the points. This guy was already deported from the UK after being convicted of several terror-related offences, including threats to carry out mass attacks. Okay, so he already has been convicted. He already has been deported from the UK. He is now in Ireland and has threatened to carry out an attack in Dublin and is still here. Facts, facts, facts. A Garda investigation is underway. He's in his 20s. He threatened to carry out a mass shooting in Dublin. Fact, his own words. He's threatened to do this. No criminal charges have yet been brought as part of that probe being led by investigators at Tala Garda Station. So he still has yet to be convicted for anything. Garda sought to have the man's detention and custody extended, which allows for an applicant to be held for up to 21 days on a number of grounds. Garda outlined their concerns about the man when he was brought before a sitting of Clover Hill District Court last Friday. Last Friday. Am I correct in saying that that was the day before the March for Jesus event? He was collared and pinched the day before.
Yes.
I'm just saying the timeline here, guys. Follow the timeline in this one. He can't be identified. He's an asylum claim pending. During the contest, he's entitled to anonymity under Irish law.
I know what's coming next.
Right.
In camera hearings to stop the public getting this information. That's coming next.
Well, let's see what it says here. During the contested hearing, the defense said they were objecting to the period of detention being extended. So we have lawyers.
Free legal aid lawyers.
We have legal aid lawyers who are defending this man, saying, release him. Ignore what the Gardaí have said, their concerns about threats to public safety. Ignore them, release him, keep him anonymous. He's threatened to carry out a mass attack in Dublin. He's been convicted of terrorism in England. He has been deported there, but release him back into the general population, into the Irish society. Garda Ewan Monaghan told Judge Alan Mitchell he was applying for the man's period of detention to be extended. Thankfully, the guard has a little bit of gumption. Yeah. This relates a threat to carry out a mass shooting and email threats pertaining to national security. Gardaí also alleged the man had not made reasonable efforts to establish his identity. He acted in a manner that would undermine the system. So again, another case this week that I reported on, one guy who's been arrested for multiple attacks on women coming from Syria has 31 different identities. Garda have said, quote, we don't know who he is. He has committed 10 offences in prison since being locked up in June, and he's still here because, you know, Irish law and all that. So it goes on to say the applicant had been incarcerated 3 times already this year. With his details and photograph logged on the prison system, which clearly states his identity. So this guy's already been locked up 3 times this year on 3 separate occasions, and they're talking about him getting out. And lastly, this is the last piece here. Judge inquired if national security aspect contained, and he was told it did. The court also heard the man has been previously convicted of offences similar to this and is being investigated. These related to terror incidents. And then right at the end of this article, at the very, very end, they included threatening to carry out mass murder on behalf of an Islamist terror group, threatening law enforcement officers, and claiming to carry out a biological attack. No attacks were carried out. He was arrested, prosecuted, and jailed, with a UK court ordering his deportation. Those are
he wasn't deported.
Facts.
He wasn't deported, Rick. The problem is he fled to Ireland.
There you go.
I'd say it was another one of these self-deportation farces where he was told to leave the United Kingdom and he headed straight to Treasure Ireland. I mean, listen, people have got to wake up very fast. There are at least 200 million people actively trying to get into Europe from North Africa, from sub-Saharan Africa, from the Middle East, and from Asia. At least 200 million people actively trying to get into Europe. And many of these people have earmarked Treasure Ireland as their destination of choice. Now, we have to wake up very, very fast, or we will have reached a point of no return. This guy here should have been deported as soon as the Gardaí became aware of him. If the guards are not going to charge this individual, he should be deported forthwith. Right? No legal process, absolutely no application for asylum should be entertained. In actual fact, no application for asylum should be entertained from anybody that has traveled through safe countries to get to Ireland. Until we take this problem seriously, and there's no point talking about healthcare and housing if we don't address the invasion of our country. Everything else takes a back seat. If we cannot secure our own borders, we're not a sovereign. We're not a sovereign country anymore. Anyway.
Well, sure. What was it? Our friend Micheál Martin said. He said he wants nothing to do with the backward-looking idea, backward-looking, regressive idea of sovereignty. So. Listen,
but just finally, Ireland is rapidly morphing into a totalitarian state that holds elections. We can't even, how Micheál Martin can call Ireland a sovereign country and maintain a straight face, it beggars belief. We are no longer a sovereign country. It's time to take back control of our borders. I'm talking about it's time that we took back meaningful control of our own borders. Ireland is a Judeo-Christian country. It's time we started acting like it is.
Well, I'll tell you what, John, with the current shower in situ as per now in Leinster House, the chances of that happening are slim to zero. And I know we're supposed to be talking about this upcoming sham farce that is masquerading as the Irish presidential election. I think, to be honest, this is certainly shaken a lot of people and woken a few more people up with the simple exclusion of Maria Steen, gerrymandered out of that race. Whether she would have won it or not, I'll tell you what, they would have, imagine if she had been on that debate on last night or the night before with Gavin Connolly and Humphreys. Can you imagine? She would have wiped the floor with every single one of them and had energy to spare, but I couldn't get to that point because I believe it's also, I just want to finish by saying everything we're talking about, you point the finger of blame somewhere, it has to go to, in the first instance, the treacherous government, people masquerading as those that are elected to look after the best interests of either Ireland or the UK or France or Germany or Spain or Portugal or Sweden or anywhere else for that matter. They have opened up the gates. They are allowing this. They are facilitating this. They are incentivizing this. That is where the R must go in the first instance.
We are at war for the survival of the Irish race. We are at war for the survival of the Irish race. Every single person that's allowed into this country, whether legally or whether they come in here as a criminal illegal invader, will end up getting Irish citizenship. A work permit should be just that, a work permit. If somebody comes into Ireland to work on a work permit and they subsequently lose their job, lose their employment, they should immediately have to leave Ireland. If these people come in here on work permits and lose their jobs, they should have to immediately leave Ireland. We are giving out citizenship. We are giving out Irish citizenship like snuff at a wake. We are literally self-destructing. We are losing our country in real time. We are at war for the survival of the Irish race. It's as simple as that.
It is.
And whether
It
people
is.
want to call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever other name they want to call me, fine, let them work away. We have these loony lefty vermin actively encouraging the destruction of Ireland.
Uh-huh.
And
the
these people
stuff-
should remember, Rick, that when we do become an Islamic State, they will not be appreciated by our new overlords. I can assure you of that fact.
That's true.
They'll not be waving rainbow flags or progress pride flags in their faces, I can assure you.
No, they will not. And like I said, I invite people to leave their comments below this video. I encourage people to share this video out, even if even if you don't agree with it. If you're listening to this going, these two guys are off their rockers. I try and provide evidence around what I'm talking about. I believe I've provided at least some evidence to give credence to the discussion that we've been having this morning. Maybe you think it's not enough. If you do think that, leave a comment, but share, cut and paste the link, drop it into your WhatsApp groups, especially. They're so easy to distribute. If you're in a WhatsApp group, you dump it in there, then other people can forward it on. Put it into a Facebook group. I don't use Facebook, but if you do, use that. Use whatever medium you want, or you can chop this video up, use it however you want. Once I put it out into the public domain, it's for information purposes. You can do whatever you want with it, or to spark debate. So that's all I have to say.
To quote the late great conservative martyr Charlie Kirk, prove me wrong.
Yeah, leave a comment below if you think John's way off on this one, or I shouldn't be discussing this. Then leave a comment and explain why. Don't just say you shouldn't talk about this, you're doing this. Tell me why underneath, or if you're in agreement with it, tell me why you agree. But either way, John, again, appreciate it's been a pretty heavy session, but must needs be done. We can't bury our heads in the sand. We can't take the ostrich approach with this. We'll have to at least make people aware what's happening. These are actual news articles published this week. These are actual concerns people have as they're walking the streets of Dublin. These are actual convictions that have happened for people that are in the country illegally. This is not, we're not making this up. Okay, so anyway, on that happy note, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, and of course, whatever you're doing, we hope it's nice. Share the content, leave a comment, check the link through to Philip's page also, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. But if you haven't, it actually makes no difference. The main thing is that you watch the content, that you leave a comment, and that you share the content. Those are the key things, okay? Whether or not you're subscribed or not. Of course, if you do, great. But if you're not, I'm not going to fall out with you over it. But for now, anyway, big thanks to you, John, and big thanks to John's dog as well. John has a dog, and sometimes that dog gets excited when he's talking and barks, and sometimes she goes crashing around in pots and pans. But what do you call your dog?
I have many dogs.
Well, the wee one in
Hazel is remaining very quiet beside me here.
Well, I want to give a shout out to Hazel, John's dog, for being very well behaved on the chair. Didn't bark, didn't go crazy at all. She's now free to make as much noise as she wants. So thank you, Hazel. If you're listening, thank you, Hazel. We appreciate your cooperation in this matter. But for now, that's John Wilson. I'm Rick Munn. This is No Risk, No Reward Media, and we are over and out.